Are you trying to get weight loss support through telehealth, but it feels overwhelming and rushed? Check out OrderlyMeds.com now. OrderlyMeds.com was built to be different. Here, you connect with real doctors who take the time to understand your goals, review your eligibility, and guide you through a plan that's right for you. Orderly Meds provides access to proven GLP-1 medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide, including both name brand options and personalized compound versions when appropriate. So you have choices backed by clinical oversight, not guesswork. It's a simpler, more supportive telehealth experience designed around people who want clarity, care, and confidence in their weight loss journey. And your medication is delivered directly to your home in discreet packaging, so your experience stays private from start to finish. Do your research, ask the right questions, then visit orderlymeds.com/podcast for an exclusive offer. Again, that's orderlymeds.com/podcast. Individual results may vary, not medical advice. Eligibility required. See site for details.
Hello, everyone. Welcome aboard the DL Weekly podcast. Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding. If this is your first time listening, we hope you'll check out our website at dlweekly.net. If you have more time to spend, becoming an official weekly tier at dlweekly.net/support is an especially good value. Thanks for traveling with us today, and we hope you have a happy and memorable listen to this week's episode.
Well, hello, weekly tiers. We are coming to you from Disney's California Adventure. We're here on Buena Vista Street, watching the crowds come in and leave. We're just kind of at, park hopping just started about an hour ago, so there's lots of people coming and going right now. So hopefully this is a quiet enough spot that you can hear us, but you can also hear some of the lovely ambiance music as well. But we just wanted to check in with you. We've been at Disneyland at the resort now. This is day number 2 for us.
Or 2.5 if you count our time in downtown Disney.
Oh, that's true.
When we arrived. Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, so welcome to this week's podcast. So we are actually, it's just Vern and I that is here this time round. And we came because I have a training for concierge put on by Disney for travel planning. So I actually start that later this afternoon, and then that's all day tomorrow. Vern is very excited because he gets to have a day and a half to himself, and we have a rental car, so he's going to go exploring.
Yes. Yep. So I'm just going to spend half a day hanging out in the parks, doing my own thing, and footloose and fancy free, and then just kind of check out the greater area, maybe do some hiking.
I was going to say you're going to go do some non-Disney things too, which will be fun. So our first day, we got in midday, and our friend Stephanie, who is also a weekly tier, is a chalk walker, and she's raising funds right now for her chalk walk team. And they have this really great event that she puts on every year that just happened to be on Saturday. So of course, since we were in town, we had to go by and stop by and check it out. But it was really wonderful. There was silent auction, there was buy it now items, all sorts of really cool, fun Disney finds that all of the money raised towards it went towards the chalk walk donation. So it's really, really cool. If you're interested, she's also on the team with Terry Harden. And Terry Harden every year designs a pin and produces that pin. And there's a limited amount of them. I think just a couple hundred of these pins that are created. We will make sure to have the link in the show notes if you are interested in either donating or if you're interested in that pin. It is themed to the Cheshire Cat this year because Alice in Wonderland is celebrating a pretty big anniversary this year, so that's kind of their team's theme this year is Alice in Wonderland.
And it was a really cool looking pin.
It was a cool looking pin. At the party we had a couple of characters, Alice and the Mad Hatter, both made an appearance, which was very, very fun. But so it was kind of our first day. We then had dinner in downtown Disney and just kind of had a chill first day. We had a very early morning flight from our little airport, so we just kind of took it easy that first night. And unfortunately, that first day we were here was the day that Pedro Pascal, Dave Filoni, Sigourney Weaver, and Jon Favreau were all made the surprise appearance in Galaxy's Edge. We were here, but we were in downtown Disney, so we did not get to see that. We only got to experience that through the magic of social media, like most everyone did too. But that was pretty darn cool.
Yeah, very cool. And to know that we were so close but didn't even have tickets.
I know.
So Sunday, we got up early and decided it was time for some rope drop, because
yes.
if you're going to be in the park, you got to go rope drop to fireworks, right? So, yeah, got a Uber over to that was one of our first times getting an Uber over and, just getting dropped off. And I'm going to tell you, that was nice.
Yeah, we'll kind of back up. So this trip, we are not at the Howard Johnson. We're at a hotel that's a little bit further away because we did rent a car for the week, so we wanted to be cost conscientious. And we got a hotel a little further away because parking rates were cheaper, and Vern loves a good hotel breakfast, so we made sure that was on the agenda too. So we're, what is it, a Hampton Inn and Suites. We're right next to Joe's Italian Ice, which is kind of dangerous, to be honest, but it's a really nice location. So we're Ubering to and from the parks this time around. And the Uber drop-off, it's just so nice. You're right there, right at the front entrance. So we just kind of walked right in after getting dropped off. We feel spoiled now. Super reasonable rate for the Uber, just $10 plus tip. So, I mean, it's give or take the average of what we've been paying. And we get dropped off, we walk right in, security lines are really short, and voila, we're there, rope drop. We're ready to go. So, of course, we do the obligatory take our picture with the big Mickey right behind us, the flower Mickey. And we're on our way. And because Teresa is so wonderful and she knows that the best ride is Jungle Cruise, we rope dropped Jungle Cruise. We did. Jungle Cruise was our first attraction of the trip. Walked right on. I was trying to take a picture or something, thinking, we have time. And no, we had no time. It was through the turnstile and right onto the boat. Yep. The line for Indy was already an hour long, but we just walked right on for Jungle Cruise, so that was nice. So I think that's kind of why. I think because the line, how they do the queue for Indy in the morning kind of blocks Jungle Cruise. I don't think people, if you don't know, right, if you're not a frequent visitor, you may not even realize that there's another attraction tucked back behind that big old line, and you're just nope. That's a crazy line. I'm just going to keep going. But it worked out to our advantage. It was really great. We got to see the newly refreshed elephant bathing pool. Yes. We got to see Bertha and Squirt. They are looking fabulous. Yes. It was a little strange not having the piranhas toward the end, but otherwise, the attraction's looking refreshed and fantastic. Yes. And then, of course, since we already did my favorite ride, we had to go straight over to Teresa's favorite ride. But before we did that, this was wild. So I have a timestamp on this photo because it was very surreal. At 8:23, we walk into New Orleans Square, and Rivers of America, we're right in front of Pirates right there. Yes. Nobody. There was nobody. And I was I just had to stop, and everyone's what's wrong? I'm what? I've never been over here where there's nobody. It was just pretty surreal, especially first thing in the morning. You'd think there'd be, people jetting to and from, but somehow just nobody, just empty. So of course we took a spin on the Haunted Mansion, did a couple other favorites too. We've kind of just been going with the Disney wins, as you will, where we're just kind of not really planning ahead, not looking too much at the app. A little bit just to kind of check in on wait times to kind of figure out which direction we want to go. Hey, look, it's a short queue. Let's go to it. But it's been a really, really chill start to the trip, which I think is fantastic. Yes. Yeah. Oh, another thing we did too that we wanted to make sure we went to check out is Galaxy's Edge, because of course they've unlocked the timeline now. Yes. And it was actually, honestly, the John Williams music, so good. Yes. So good in that area. I mean, anytime you can get a John Williams score, it's going to be very good. But the thing that was neat was it's still John Williams score, which is obviously new, but they still had all the ambiance noises. So you still had the bugs and the animals and the rustling and that kind of stuff in the jungly, foresty area, which was really cool. It was a nice blending of the two. Yes. Oh, monorail. After that, we went and had the first cold brew of the trip. And the first churro of the trip. So first cold brew of the trip was a Black Cherry Tavern cold brew, which was nice. It was just their classic cold brew with a chocolate cold brew with a black cherry topper. I did try the black cherry topper on its own. It was like a cold foam. Very good. Cherry did not taste fake It was really, really delightful. But what the miss was for me was actually the chocolate cold brew. That had a little bit of kind of the like fakey flavor to it. So not my favorite. I still gave it like a 3 or 3.5 out of 5. Not one that I would necessarily need to get again, but also not one that was like, oh, no.
Right. Yeah.
And Vern had a classic churro.
Yes, because if you're going to start your trip, you gotta cleanse the palate, and you gotta go classic. Get that first churro in there, get those taste buds ready, get that classic, and just remind yourself, this is what a churro is. This is the granddaddy. This is what we came here for. This is churro. This is what it's supposed to be.
It was funny because it smelled like there's something about the popcorn and the churro smells this trip that I'm just like, oh, I don't know if they're like pumping more or if I'm just more like wanting. I don't know what it is, but something about it. They're just like they're beckoning this trip. And so I looked over at Vern like, oh, perfect. Like, I want a bite of your fresh churro. Already gone.
Because it was that good.
You snooze, you lose, and I lost.
It was so tasty.
Some other really cool, fun, magical things that happened on that first day was we had a little bit of time to kind of kill. We were meeting a friend over in DCA later to have lunch. So we just had like 15, 20 minutes before it was time to rope drop. So we decided we were just going to take a leisurely... Oh, yeah, sorry. We already rope dropped.
Yes.
Park top. So we decided to take a leisurely stroll down Main Street, USA. I've really started enjoying pin collecting, so I like checking out all the boards. Vern is not a pin collector. He is an entertainment person. So we decided to kind of divide and conquer. I went through the shops. Vern went down Main Street proper. And something really, really magical and just really special happened at the China Closet. I went in there looking to see if they had pins to trade, and I was like shocked. It was, it's almost park hopping time, so it's like 10:30 in the morning, and it's packed in there. And so I'm like, oh, they're not going to have the pin board out because they're really, really busy. But then there was nobody behind the cash wrap, so I was like, what is going on here? It was the queue for the Silhouette Studio, which, way to go, Silhouette Studio. But I was just like, holy, that's wild. Anyway, so there's a cast member in there, so I asked, oh, hey, do you guys, do you have the pin trading board or whatever? She's like, oh, we don't have it out this morning. And so she and I just sat there and chatted for a little bit. I was commenting on how that's wild that the Silhouette Studio line is wrapped all the way around, and confirmed if they still had the second space up in the Disneyana shop that, you could go there too. And anyways, we were just chit-chatting about all sorts of things. I think I even told her that we got married at Disneyland. Like, I told her probably more than she wanted to hear. But anyways, all of a sudden she's like, hang on just 1 minute. I want to give you something. I was like, oh, huh? She came back with an honorary Disneyland citizen button.
That's so nice.
And I almost lost it. I have one already, but I think there was some if you answered a trivia question correctly, they'd give it to you. So I felt like I was an imposter. Like, didn't actually earn the honorary citizen button.
I remember that one from several years ago.
Yeah. Oh, that was it was like I think it was when we came for Pixar Fest, like in 2018.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Yeah.
So it's still very special, but this I felt like I actually was pixie dusted and awarded it. So it was just super, super duper special. So I ran out to go find Vern. And then the Dapper Dans came out. I'm like, this is perfect. This is like the perfect start to the Disneyland trip.
Yes, totally. A very special moment with the button. And then I got my entertainment with the dance. And just as the dance were wrapping up, the band came out. So we got to see the marching band play for a bit. And right as the marching band is wrapping up, boom, it's 11 o'clock. Time to bounce across the Esplanade and get our DCA on.
Yeah, so we went and had lunch at the Wine Country Trattoria.
Yes.
And I should have taken a picture of the food, but I forgot to take a picture of what the things were called.
It was we couldn't pronounce it very well. The spaghetti aglio olio.
Yeah, olio. It was the plant-based or the vegetarian option on the menu.
Yeah.
I went with it because it sounded like it was going to be a really light, not very heavy dish. We also got the pull-apart cheese bread, which was very, very nice and shared with the table. Mm-hmm. So we had an absolutely wonderful lunch in DCA.
Yes.
After that, we hopped back over to Disneyland because, I mean, you always got to start your first day in Disneyland. So, so we hopped back over to Disneyland.
We wandered for a minute, but we didn't really commit to DCA. It was just kind of a walk-through. Not even a walk-through. We didn't make it all the way over to Pixar Pier.
You're right, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't. Next up, then, we actually met up with another Weekly Tier friend, did a few attractions together, did a Grand Circle tour, which, again, another just fantastic way to kind of like kick off a trip. I had another cold brew, shocker, I know, and it was the like mud pie cold brew that's over by the Bluey stage by the Troubadour Tavern there.
Yes.
It was like a dessert, but also I was kind of afraid that this one was going to be too sweet. And I would say sweetness level wise, it was like on par with like a chocolate milk.
Oh, nice.
So, and not as thick though, so maybe give it a little less points for that. But it had like brownie crumbles in it. They give you one of those big thick boba straws because of the brownie crumbles. So I was like, oh gosh. So that was it. When I was thinking of when I wanted to enjoy this cold brew, it was one of those like, this is not going to be a first thing in the morning cold brew. That seems like a lot of sugar. So afternoon was delightful.
It depends on how you like to start your morning. Some people need that sugar kick to get them going.
That's true. You get the mix of caffeine and sugar.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Yeah. So
another couple of cool things that we did on our first day was we went and did the Rancho dining package. Yes. I do want to comment. So this is not the first time we've done that. Vern and I have done it a couple of times now. Tag and I have also done it a couple of times. Yeah. It's really great, even though we get to see Fantasmic more often than the average person, because we're very fortunate and get to come a couple times a year. I just think the Rancho package is such a good value.
Yes, agreed.
You want to talk about the menu changes?
Yeah, so I can't speak for everybody because, most people, There are people that have restricted diets, and I qualify myself in that area, not medically restricted, but just as a vegetarian, I can't just walk into any restaurant and pick anything off of any menu because most products in the American diet have meat in them. And historically, I've been able to go into Rancho and say, hey, you have that soy chorizo, let's put that into anything on the menu, and that'll work for me. This time we were looking ahead at the menu options, and I didn't see the soy chorizo.
Yeah, so they've overhauled like the whole menu. So some of the things that may have been your favorites are not there anymore, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. So before we committed to we were going to keep our Fantasmic package and go ahead with eating there, we were looking over the menu. They had a vegetarian salad option, and it wasn't that appealing to me. So I stopped by and I spoke to one of the cast members working, directing the line. And I said, hey, I was looking at the menu. You don't do the soy anymore? And she says, no, I'm really sorry. And she was super empathetic, sympathetic. I mean, gave a vibe like she was actually having the same issues that I was having. And she said, no, I'm so sorry, we don't have that anymore. But hey, I'll give you a little secret. If you go to the burrito section and you ask really nicely and say, hey, can I have a veggie burrito? They'll take good care of you. I said, okay, thank you very much. I will keep that in mind. We'll be back later. And so we went back for our Fantasmic dining package, and I went over to the burrito section and said, hey, can I have a veggie burrito? They said, yep, we got you. And
they hooked you up.
Oh, it was stuffed. I mean, it was beans and rice and cheese, and just stuffed it and drizzled the red sauce and more cheese on top, and a full plate of beans and rice and elote on the side, and I was stuffed. It was a delightful meal.
Oh, plus dessert.
Yeah, plus dessert, and all for the same price package as it would have been for anybody else. So.
It was. When we compared plates, because I got the carne asada fries, my plate looked like it was like half the size of Vern's, which worked for me because I don't have as big of an appetite as Vern, so I found the carne asada fries to be quite filling. But it was just it was a really good portion of food that they gave you, which was great.
Yeah, no, it's a very good value. And just overall, we've always been very excited with the value that we get for doing the Fantasmic dining package out of Rancho because it's a good amount of food and a very good seating area for not a lot of money.
Yeah, so the price did go up also with the menu changes. And so it used to be $35, I think, but now it is $40. So just keep in mind if it's something that you're thinking about doing or considering doing for your next trip. But we highly recommend it. We love Fantasmic, even though it is better when Murphy is a part of it, which...
We do miss Murphy.
My fingers and toes are still crossed that maybe that'll be an announcement at D23. But who knows? We'll find out. But it was still a really fantastic show. And then after that, we actually decided to do something a little different because it had been some time since I had seen the fireworks in front of the castle. And so
I don't think I've ever been that close.
No, yeah. So we decided to be like complete Disney nerds and went like an hour and a half before fireworks started and went and camped out right in front of like where the VIP seating is. So we're on the like closest side of the hub that one can be to the castle on that side, and it was fantastic. So first of all, the wait didn't seem that long. I don't know why. Maybe because you and I both took like a bathroom break partway through, and so we broke it up. But it was just nice to kind of just like chill and relax. There's all sorts of families near us. And the thing that was interesting to me, I always assumed that the people that were camping out in front of the fireworks were kind of like, either locals or, people that had a lot of time.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't as big of a deal for them to sit there for, an hour or two to get those prime spots.
Right.
We were there with a lot of first-timers, it felt.
Sure, yeah.
Which was very, very surprising to me, but also very, very cute and sweet to watch the kids light up when the parade went past, because Paint the Night happened happened before the fireworks, and then...
That little family off to our left, those two kids that just... they lost their minds.
They were, just... It was cute, because we were talking during it, can you just, obviously, I don't remember back to that age. Some people do, but I'm like, that has just got to be, melting their minds right now that they're seeing these things. And they didn't even have, front row seats to the parade because we were in front of the castle, and they were still just absolutely amazed. It was so, so adorable.
Yeah.
But so we got to watch the fireworks right from the fireworks projection. The Blue Fairy and Baymax all come out during Wonders Journey, and we got prime spot. Took a couple pictures, a couple of quick videos, and I actually told Vern at one point, I'm like, I needed to zoom out. We were too close that I needed to zoom out, because otherwise it was just the castle. So that was a very, very different and very wonderful experience.
Yes.
Not something that we do every trip, because it does, like we mentioned, eat some time, take some time to secure those spots, but we really, really enjoyed it.
If you have a party where one or two members of your party are kind of burned out and they just want to sit for 2 hours while everybody else runs off and does something, perfect. But we're just the two of us. I'm glad we did it, but in the future, do I necessarily want to use up that 2 hours?
Right.
It's a judgment call.
Well, and we were sitting there, and both of us were joking, maybe it was mostly me, that, I'm not as young as I was. Sitting on the ground for that long, we were having to, stretch and move and, try and keep things loose and tight and not, lock it up
this
and all
morning.
that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So definitely not something every trip, but it was very fun and worthwhile. It's a great nighttime spectacular to do that for, too.
Yes.
So what did we do after fireworks ended?
After fireworks, we went over to our Fantasmic seating, where we got to sit on the ground some more.
Did. More ground sitting.
But it was worth it, because we were right up front and center to have a great spot for Fantasmic.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, and the timing worked out fantastically well. So because we were right
Fantastically
well, you're right. Because we were right in front of the hub, we were able to zip over to Frontierland through the Fantasy Fair area, through where the Rancho entrance is, that kind of back path there. Yeah. So we beat the crowds.
Significantly.
We totally
we just
beat the firework crowds.
Yeah.
It was great. So, and then even by the time we got over there, everyone had exited from the New Orleans Square and Rivers of America area. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't even we were, swimming upstream having to do the shuffle walk thing that you have to do when everyone's trying to move. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it really was. And then we got good spots, got our, sat down, got ourselves all positioned and cozy, and didn't have to sit too long, really.
No.
Maybe like 30 minutes at the long end.
Yeah.
And then Fantasmic started, and great positioning. Having the Fantasmic dining package like we did, we were very well positioned, had a great view of everything, and yeah, great show. I was thinking about it this morning with Fantasmic. We've seen it so many times. We tend to watch it every single time that we're here, and we come, at least once a year for me and a couple times a year for you. And on the one hand, you see it every single time you hear it. How many times do you have to see it? But on the other hand, there's always something new that I notice that I don't remember from last time. Because it's such an involved show with so many little details and so many things happening at once. And
was there something new that you noticed this past time that you remember and want to share?
Specifically last night, I was kind of watching for more like little details, and like I was paying attention to little technical stuff.
Sure.
Like I was watching during the fighting over who's controlling the dream, and I was noticing the fireworks flashing on the ground and those effects and stuff. I was just really getting into the techie side of that type of stuff.
There you go.
And even like the contrast of when the dream is green and purple versus when the dream is more in the blues and whites, and like looking at it artistically that way. Because I've seen it enough times that I could start to like kind of really view it through those lenses. And it was, so if anybody says, "Oh, you've seen it before, why do you have to see it again?" Tell them, because I'm seeing it with different eyes every time.
It's one of those shows that there's like some attractions where there's just so many layers to it that you can go in and always, there's just something else to notice or something else to kind of focus on to make it interesting and cool every time, for sure. And then after that wrapped up the night. That was a very long first day, full of, again, rope drop to park hop. Rope drop, park hop, fireworks, fantastic, and closing out the park. So it was really fantastic. And then today has been a little bit different. I start my training this afternoon, and part of that is getting to stay at the Grand Californian, which I have never stayed there before, so I'm very, very excited. So this morning we came in, I got checked in at the Grand. I'm ready. My room is not ready, but that's okay. It'll be ready. It'll be ready when I need it to be ready. I was able to check my luggage with the Bell service desk. So then from there we were able to just enter into California Adventure, and have just been enjoying the day in sunny California. Having an adventure.
And it is sunny, and it's warm, and a little breeze. And
it was a little gloomy yesterday, but today's a much more like bright, sunshiny day for sure.
Yes.
So we will keep you posted and let you know what other things we get up to. We've got a couple more plans that are Disney related, a couple more plans that are not Disney related. We're actually going to go to Universal Studios this trip, which will be both of our first times going to Universal Studios Hollywood. So that'll be
We've done
fun.
Florida, but this will be our first California. So
I'm looking forward to that. We've got other plans with other friends at Disneyland. We actually even have one of Vern's coworkers just happens to be taking a trip out.
Very true.
While we're still here, so they're going to meet up and hang out at the parks, which I think is so fun.
And
so this is just going to be great.
Very shy person, and I'm going to try to get him to do an Instagram Live with me.
We'll
see if I can make it happen.
I apologize in advance, Todd.
It probably won't happen, but
anyways, with that, we are going to go out and enjoy the
parks.
I am the podcast that flaps in the night. I am the cliffhanger that has you hitting like and subscribe. I am DLWeekly.
Pros, save more on the materials you need to get the job done, inside and out, at Lowe's. Right now, get 10% off in-stock Trex Naturals decking, now available in more styles. Plus, get 15% off select custom entry, interior, and storm doors. Then, we'll deliver it all straight to your job site to help keep your jobs moving. Get the brands pros trust, priced right, and ready when you need them. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/27. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
When you send a business gift, you're doing more than saying thank you. You're recognizing a moment, expressing appreciation, and making a statement about your brand. With 4imprint, that message lands with certainty. With thousands of customizable products from premium apparel and branded drinkware to smart tech, bags, and thoughtfully chosen office items, 4imprint helps your brand show up with the kind of care people remember. You can tailor every detail, your logo, your message, your look. And with thousands without a setup fee, it's easy to create meaningful moments without added cost. You'll also get expert support, dependable service, and their 360-degree guarantee, so you can be 4imprint certain your gifts arrive exactly as intended, on time and on brand. Because in a season built around appreciation, the right gift should say it all, with confidence, care, and attention to detail. Explore gifting with certainty at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.